All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a plant with the name that tells you everything you need to know. Or does it? It's called the toothache plant. But believe me, that name is just scratching the surface of an incredible and, get this, an electric story.
I mean, come on. Have you ever had a toothache so bad you would try just about anything for relief? You know that feeling, right? That throbbing, all-consuming pain that just takes over your brain? It's pure misery. Well, what if I told you that nature already had the perfect solution waiting on the shelf?
You know, for centuries, long before we had modern dentistry, people all over the globe, from South America to India, they knew exactly what to do. They turned to this one unassuming little plant, Spilanthes acmella. Yeah, it's actually part of the sunflower family.
Okay, so let's get properly introduced to this little botanical celebrity. What is it about this plant that gave it such a legendary reputation?
You can learn so much about a plant just from its nicknames. I mean, toothache plant, that's a dead giveaway. But check these out. Electric daisy, buzz buttons. Those names point to something way more interesting, right? A real physical sensation. And when you see its names from all over the world, like Jambu in Brazil or Mandalalpu chidi in India, you realize, wow, this thing was a global phenomenon.
So, the big question is, how does a simple flower create an electric buzz in your mouth? All right, let's switch gears from folklore to a little bit of science and figure out what's really going on here.
Okay, so the secret ingredient, the star of the show, is a molecule called spilanthol. This is the magic bullet. It's a natural compound, technically an alkalamide, and it's pretty much single-handedly responsible for that famous tingling, numbing feeling. So when you feel that buzz, yep, that's spilanthol saying hello.
And this is exactly why it became such a go-to in traditional medicine. The results are instant. You chew the flower head, which is the most powerful part, and boom, it hits you. That tingling, numbing wave gives you fast, targeted relief. There's no guesswork, no waiting around. You know it's working.
But here's where things get really wild. That numbing effect, that was just the beginning. For the communities that used it, this plant was seen as a whole-body, all-purpose remedy.
Just take a look at this. It wasn't just for toothaches. It was being used for systemic things, like fevers and rheumatism, for digestive issues, coughs, even for healing wounds. I mean, in India and Nepal, they used it to treat stammering in kids. And get this, in Cameroon, it was even used as a snakebite remedy. This wasn't just a painkiller, it was like a whole pharmacy packed into one little plant.
And this quote really says it all. In some parts of the world, it was literally considered a panacea, a cure-all. That tells you that traditional healers weren't just seeing one little effect. They recognized that this plant had a broad, powerful impact on the entire body.
So now we're going to jump from ancient wisdom to cutting-edge science. And what researchers are finding today, it's not just confirming what people knew for centuries. They're uncovering totally new and honestly pretty shocking uses for this plant. Yeah, you heard that right. A natural Botox, the very same compound that numbs your tooth, is now being patented for cosmetics. The idea is that its anesthetic properties can temporarily relax tiny facial muscles, which, in turn, helps reduce the look of fine lines and wrinkles. Amazing, right?
But wait, it gets even crazier. Research is showing that spilanthol can actually mess with how our bodies make and store fat. It seems to block fat cells from even forming and helps activate something called AMPK, which is like a master switch for your metabolism, basically telling your body to burn more energy. This is huge. It suggests it could be a player in fighting modern metabolic diseases.
And if that wasn't enough, spilanthol has also been shown to help relax blood vessels. This effect is called vasal relaxation, and it's super important for managing blood pressure. The fact that it works through these complex nitric oxide pathways, well, it points to some serious potential for treating cardiovascular diseases. Who would have thought a simple toothache plant could hold clues for heart health?
Okay, so with all this incredible potential, why isn't this stuff in every drugstore? What's the holdup? Well, let's look at the really practical and super important steps it takes to turn a traditional plant into a safe, modern product.
The biggest challenge is one word: standardization. See, if you chew a fresh flower, the dose you get is all over the place. It depends on the plant, the soil, the season. But for a modern medicine or a cosmetic product, you can't have that. You need a standardized extract so that every single time the dose is precise, consistent, and totally reliable.
And that need for precision
leads to safety numbers like this one. So based on animal studies, scientists have calculated what's called an acceptable daily intake, or ADI, for spilanthol in humans. It comes out to about 1.9 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. That number is a critical benchmark for developing any product safely.
And this right here is probably the most important safety takeaway of all. As promising as this plant is, it's not without risks. Animal studies suggest it could be harmful during pregnancy, so it's a definite no-go there. It might also affect testosterone levels and can interact with certain drugs. But the bottom line, the single most important point, is that we urgently need solid human clinical trials. Without that data, its true safety and effectiveness in people is still a big question mark. So the story of the toothache plant, taking it from a simple folk remedy all the way to the cutting edge of research for cosmetics and metabolic health, it's just incredible. And it really leaves you with one big fascinating question, doesn't it? If this one plant held so many secrets, just imagine what other wonders are still out there, waiting in nature's pharmacy. Thanks for joining this explainer.